Hey there foodies, I got bad news for you guys. Malaysians consume a whopping 59 kilograms of seafood per person every year, making us the seafood champion of Southeast Asia. But here's the catch. The Department of Fisheries Malaysia warns that in just 30 years, seafood could become a thing of the past. So say goodbye to your crabs, lala and kembung. According to WWF's Save Our Seafood guidelines, out of 84 common seafood types, 37 are in the red zone, so we must avoid eating them, while 32 are in the yellow category that must be consumed less, and only 15 are green, which means it's safe to enjoy. Even Nasi Lemak's beloved anchovies and kembung are on the yellow list, while bawang putih and ikan pari, red alert. And this isn't some far-off doomsday prediction, it's happening right now. Overfishing and climate change are destroying our oceans. But while the government talks about sustainability, the very fishermen who feeds us are losing their boats, jetties, and way of life.
Okey, dia orang nak ambil Pekan Pangkor, dia orang nak ambil jetty nelayan, nak ambil perkampungan nelayan. Dia orang hilang tempat dia orang nak proses ikan. Dia orang hilang tempat dia orang nak parking boat. Dia orang hilang sumber pendapatan. Itu yang paling penting.
What is really lacking in the people in the project is short-sightedness to environmental sensitivity, especially in island-related events. So it is unfair for the fishing people. I would fight with them that they need to have their rights.
Let's zoom in on Perak, the state with the highest fish catch on the peninsula. In 2023, 400,000 metric tons of fish came from here. Anchovy catch reached 3,950 tons, almost 43% of Peninsular Malaysia's total. Right at the heart of this fishing hub lies Pangkor Island, a place now caught between tradition and transformation. The government has a big vision. The Pangkor Island Special Area Plan, or RKK, drafted in 2024, aims to turn fishing villages into modern tourism hubs. Part of the plan, a 790 million expansion of the Pekan Pangkor jetty, plus new roads, commercial zones, and land reclamation for, you guessed it, a one-stop waterfront shopping center. On paper, it sounds exciting. More tourists, more spending, better economy. But on the ground, locals are sounding the alarm. At least 27 fishing huts will be demolished. About 19.16 acres of coastline, that's 11 football fields worth of sea, will be filled in. The coastline, which has sustained them for generations, is about to be changed forever.
这个也是他们 block 的范围，整个这边这些全部都是鱼寮，然后在这个范围，差不多将近50%的江鱼业者都在这边。因为我在霹雳只有邦过岛有这个江鱼的 license， 所以我们是全霹雳只有邦过有江鱼。
So masa jetty Pangkor dikembangkan, dibesarkan, dimajukan, so kawasan-kawasan pelantai yang ada di sebelah jetty ini macam pelantai kita, jiran semua akan terancam. So sebelum itu projek berlaku, so government panggil kita kena keluar lah. Tapi government panggil kita keluar, dia akan bagi kita tempat, tapi belum ada lagi lah tempat ni, belum ada lagi alternatif lah.
The government claims that RKK will attract 2.87 million tourists a year, promising an extra 1,164 ringgit in household income. Sounds brilliant on paper, right? But while this glossy vision is being drawn up, fishermen in Pangkor are living a much harsher truth. Take Yvonne, for example, a young fisherwoman with an accounting degree that returned home to continue her family's fishing legacy. We joined her on an anchovy boat trip and saw the struggle up close. The sea was calm, but the sonar barely picked up anything. After nearly an hour, we finally spotted something, but it wasn't the prized anchovy catch, just ikan baja, small worthless fish with little to no market value. Nearby boats didn't even bother casting their nets. They went home empty-handed. Yvonne told us plainly, this isn't a new problem.
去年的时候有一段时间，海岸那一边都没有鱼，不只是邦哥，什么南中这一边真的就是没有鱼。为什么？过度捕捞吧，我们不确定发生了什么，但是在海上面你找不到那个鱼，因为我们供应已经这样不舍得，你们也知道吗？我们已经是看天吃饭，多一两捕鱼就代表多一个 chances。多一个 chances 在那边拿到鱼，然后 serve to the table。最后，当你的渔船越出越少的时候 ，of course， 我们的供应量一定会减少的。
From 2019 to 2023, Malaysia's marine fish catch dropped 5 years in a row. It only saw a slight recovery in 2024, and even that came with a catch. El Nino hit hard between 2023 and 2024, warming up our oceans and driving the fishes away. According to the Fisheries Director Adnan Hussein, the El Nino phenomenon was a major factor behind the dwindling hull.
Ini termasuklah menyebabkan kelunturan kepada karang ataupun coral bleaching yang berlaku di kawasan-kawasan taman laut kita. Dan pada masa sama, apabila berlaku peningkatan suhu yang panas, setengah kumpulan ikan akan bergerak ke perairan yang lebih dalam, yang lebih jauh. Ini sebagai contohnya ikan-ikan pelagic. Ikan pelagic ni termasuk seperti ikan selar, ikan kembung, ikan tenggiri dan juga ikan tamban, ikan selayang.
So what's the Fisheries Department doing about all this? They warned us years ago about disappearing fish and are actively trying to stop things from getting worse. Ironically, it was COVID-19 that gave the ocean a breather. With less fishing during the lockdowns, marine life had a chance to recover. Plus, the department pushed for protected areas and cut down fishing licenses to curb overfishing. So our fish supply is fine for now, and that's a big relief.
Dari segi self-sufficient ratio ataupun SSR, sektor perikanan telah pun mencapai 90.7%. Maknanya sektor ini dah dari segi tahap self-sufficient ratio-nya adalah agak tinggi. Maknanya kebergantungan import itu sebenarnya dalam sekitar 10% sajalah.
But for the fishermen on Pangkor, things aren't looking so bright. Sure, the authorities talk about protecting resources and boosting production. But on the ground, fishermen are losing basic essentials. Places to dock their boats, dry their fish, and even repair their gear. It's not just inconvenient, it's a mess.
Tempat yang menjadi pusat tumpuan ekonomi perikanan ni, tempat dia mesti strategik. Kalau katakan tempat ni pun tak selamat daripada ribut, tak selamat daripada angin kuat, tak selamat daripada ombak besar, tak bolehlah kita nak buat macam tu kan. Tak bolehlah kita nak buat pelantau untuk nak parking boat, untuk nak proses ikan bilis, untuk penempatan. Memang tak bolehlah. Sebab tu, bagi saya, kawasan ni memang tak boleh usik. Kecuali untuk you upgrade, okey.
Meet Juan, a former fisherman turned city councillor. Now, working in tourism, he has seen it all. And according to him, tourism comes and goes. It's seasonal. The real heartbeat of Pangkor's economy is not the duty-free shops or shiny new attractions. It's the everyday people who live off the sea. The ones casting nets, hauling in fish, and keeping the island alive.
Kebanyakan penduduk tempatan masih bergantung kepada perikanan. Sebabnya, kawan-kawan saya, walaupun dia jadi pemandu pelancong, tapi bila normal day, dia akan jadi nelayan untuk nak cover. Dia boleh jadi pemandu pelancong untuk weekend, untuk public holiday. Tapi selain pada tu, dia kena balik kepada nelayan untuk nak cover dia punya income, sara hidup dia sendiri. Jadi sebab tu saya cakap kita tak boleh buang sektor perikanan di Pulau Pangkor ni. Kita kena jual kita punya produk. Kalau kita buang sektor perikanan, kita jual produk duty free, berapa lama boleh bertahan? Power nak menarik orang datang dengan kita hanya jual produk duty free ni kan, kita tak boleh tahan lama. Sebab kita boleh tengok contoh macam di Langkawi.
Kalau dah bot tak boleh keluar masuk, kalau dah bot tak boleh pergi ke laut dengan keadaan yang tak selesa, kan? Contoh saya lah. Saya industri hasil perikanan. Saya memerlukan ikan untuk dapat produk. Saya pun terjejas. Kan? Jadi orang-orang Pangkor contohnya, mereka beli ikan kembung, ikan tongkol untuk nak makan kat rumah. Ikan tak ada. Mereka pun terkesan.
Yvonne break it down for us in the simplest way. On Pangkor, there's a saying, good harvest from land and sea. Here's what that means. When the fisherman comes back with a big catch, the whole island comes alive. It's like Chinese New Year. A good catch means cash in fishermen's hands, which gets spent at local shops and eateries, where everyone benefits. From the grocery store auntie to the noodle store uncle. That's real economic circulation. Simple, powerful, and driven by the sea.
当它 supply 不在那边的时候，巴萨的人他们就会去拿 import 的鱼。import 的鱼，它要进到 Malaysia， 它要的时间又更久，它要水会放更多。它通常价格不会很高，只是我们吃不到很新鲜、好吃、健康的鱼，然后再加上工作机会也不在我们这边。我们是 support 着人家的国家的渔业，而不是 support 着我们国家的渔业。
Pangkor is famous for its blue-eyed ikan bilis. Perak promotes it. Oh, welcome to blue-eyed ikan bilis.
This is Dr. Kamala, a retired lecturer who now calls Pangkor Island home. She didn't hold back. She called the 300-page development blueprint short-sighted, sloppy, and unsustainable.
But if you're killing all the spawning areas, what are we going to promote here? Right? So not only there's a food security issue, but two is, what is the attraction of Pangkor already apart from fishing? You're not only killing the industry, but you're also risking the community's sustainable living. And 80% of the people depend on the secondary business. From the fishery comes the anchovies, the dried anchovies, then the crisps. All these are secondary business the local people are doing. So when you kill that sector, you're killing the entire community here. It doesn't make sense. Not logical at all.
I can understand their concern when they say this is short sendiri. It's not related to them. Nothing there they can see fishermen in there.
Now meet Dr. Stella Ho, a senior lecturer at Sunway University. Her PhD focused on sustainable community development right here on Pangkor Island. And her take is clear. The issue isn't that islanders reject development. It's that this blueprint leaves no space for fishermen, families, or local livelihoods. Authorities have tried to help like before, like training fishermen to build stronger fiber boats. The idea they could fish less and earn more by building and repairing boats. But here's the problem. They learned the skills but couldn't use them. The local market is too small. No buyers, no income. Dr. Ho says this blueprint isn't just about tourists. It's about reshaping the entire economic identity of Pangkor. That includes pushing fishermen into new jobs. But here's the thing, not everyone wants to be a tour guide. Instead of telling them to stop fishing, she says, why not help them fish smarter? Upgrade their tools, support their methods, and make their way of life sustainable.
You see, we are thinking about bringing in smart hub. So we are thinking about bringing in technology, bringing in innovation. Why can't we bring technology and innovation into fishing? All right? Aquaculture, for example, there is some young men on Pangkor Island, university graduates, okay, and decided to go back and venture into fishing. So he started aquaculture, all right, and it didn't work well, all right. So in the end, he focused on homestay alone, all right. And why it didn't work well? Because of the water saltiness level, all right. So it cannot, you cannot rear just any kind of fish. Can we spend money on R&D here? What can grow? What can be reared here? And how it can be reared? What kind of technology you can bring in to improve the productivity in aquaculture here?
Perak Exco Sandra Ng told us that over 3,000 feedback forms were submitted after the blueprint went public, and they're still going through all that input. She clarified that the blueprint is just a broad direction for now. The actual relocation of fishing huts, that will only happen after developers submit their formal proposals. Meanwhile, Plan Malaysia, the agency under the Housing Ministry, is the main planner behind this blueprint. In response to concern, they emphasize that this isn't about replacing traditional fishing, but creating a more organized, convenient space to support the local economy. That's why the plan includes a 3.56-acre site labeled as C8, with facilities like cold storage and docking space where 27 fishing huts are expected to be relocated. They also assured a full environmental and social impact assessment, but here's the question. From here to here, if you were a fisherman, would you be okay with moving? Most fishermen's temporary occupation licenses, or TOL, expired back in 2022, and with the threat of demolition, many are too afraid to renew. Even the Department of Fisheries isn't against development, but they have made it clear, don't sideline the fishermen in the process.
Jadi apa jua perubahan ataupun pembangunan hendaklah mengambil kira kepentingan masyarakat nelayan ini dan memastikan nasib mereka terjamin dan mereka dapat meneruskan pekerjaan mereka untuk menampung ekonomi keluarga mereka lah. Mereka ni kebanyakannya tak ada pilihan lain, mereka memang hidup sebagai nelayan. Jadi kita di Jabatan Perikanan kita tidak menafikan hak mana-mana pihak untuk membangun apa jua kawasan, namun sebaik-baiknya dapatlah dipertimbangkan supaya nasib nelayan-nelayan yang memang ada di kawasan tersebut terbela dan juga dapat dijamin lah. Itu pandangan kita secara umum lah.
Pangkor Island got a new flashy development plan. We're talking hundreds of millions in investment, 2.87 million tourists, shopping malls, and luxury marinas. Well, that really sounds like a real estate brochure, doesn't it? But here's the big question. Who is all this really for? They say each household could earn an extra 1,164 ringgit a year. But give it 10 years, with inflation, what's that really worth? And if fishing huts are bulldozed for this so-called progress, how long will it take for these families to rebuild their lives? Meanwhile, food prices are rising. Rice, eggs, pork, plus that expanded SST tax. So why are we tearing down the very fishing communities that feed us? And what happens if the marine resources really do run out? Will we look back and regret trading our seafood for shopping malls? That's definitely something for you to think about.
最近这几年的渔业啊，其实我们的渔获是逐年锐减，今年才稳定一点的了。但是在这种前提下，我们真的没有办法冒这样大的风险，在另外一个地方重新投入几代人的心血和建回来。
你tengok sekarang ni kan, sekarang ni ikan sampai, ikan ini akan dihantar keluar. So dia menjadi sumber makanan utama orang Kuala Lumpur, orang mana. Ikan daripada Pangkor. Inilah hasil mereka. Hasil penak mereka menyumbang ke arah pemakanan utama hasil perikanan Malaysia. Orang Melayu ke, orang Cina ke, orang apa ke, ini ikan rakyat. Ikan kembung ikan rakyat, ikan teri ikan rakyat. Mereka inilah pelantak utama. Daripada sini sampai ke Sungai Pinang.
Bagi saya, kalau ada apa-apa pembangunan di Pangkor ni, biarlah kami orang tempatan yang buat, biar kami orang tempatan yang tentukan, biar kami orang tempatan yang plan kan. Jadi bersesuaian dengan apa yang kita nak. Macam tu.
So people, we have spent the last 3 months on this story, digging through reports, fieldwork, and speaking to experts. If you learned something new, consider supporting us by scanning the QR code or clicking the link below. Your support will continue to help us in making new videos just like this one that breaks down complex topics in the most simple and accessible ways. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.